Welcome to the deep dive. We specialize in taking these really dense, source-heavy collections and basically making them crystal clear and actionable for you.
Yeah, making sense of the complex stuff.
Exactly. And today, we are definitely strapping on our aprons, maybe some metaphorical sparring gloves too, because we're diving into something unique. The Cranberry Martial Arts Cinema Preserve Collection 3, the 90-minute instructional guide.
Right, and this isn't just, a list of recipes. It's really presented as a manual for, well, culinary discipline.
Culinary discipline, I like that.
Yeah, we're talking 23 distinct preserves here. And each one, supposedly, draws these deep philosophical and technical lessons from cinema legends. Think Ip Man, Bruce Lee.
Wow. So film philosophy meets jam making.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And our mission today for you is really to give you the ultimate shortcut. We want to extract every single nugget of knowledge, every technique, every clinical nutritional fact from this thing.
So you can really understand how these recipes work and, I guess, why they matter in this system.
Precisely. It's designed to be a deep, actionable guide in itself. 90 minutes of pure detail.
Okay, so the big theme here seems to be mastery through discipline, but in the kitchen.
That's the core idea. It positions turning simple ingredients, like the humble cranberry, into something transcendent, really, all through dedicated practice and respecting the process, just like martial arts.
Okay, so roadmap. We'll start with the philosophy, the foundation, then we get into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. A detailed breakdown of key recipes, focusing on the mechanics, not just add this, then that. We'll look at why you do things a certain way.
And finally, the full nutritional picture, synthesized.
Yep, the complete breakdown. Let's get started. Hashtag tag eat IHANG, foundational philosophies and techniques.
All right, so foundational philosophies. What's the core identity here?
It's all about channeling honor, technique, and a kind of spiritual balance into the food.
Okay.
And if you look across the 23 preserves, they really try to map them onto different cinematic styles. It's quite a spectrum.
Like what? Can you give an example?
Well, you've got the quick, acrobatic style of Jackie Chan, reflected in some of the faster, flow-based recipes.
Ah, okay, I can picture that.
Then there's the sort of ethereal, almost unreal wire-fu artistry. Think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that's mirrored in the more delicate, graceful compositions.
Right, the really visually poetic stuff.
And then on the other end, you have the deep meditative power, like the Shaolin monks. That comes through in the aged and fermented preserves, things that take time and patience.
And the guide frames these techniques not just as steps, but as training, like practice.
Exactly. It emphasizes the patience and discipline needed for complexity. It's not just about banging out a quick jam. This whole idea is kind of distilled into what they call the 3 pillars of culinary kung fu.
Okay, 3 pillars. Lay them on me. Pillar 1.
Pillar 1 is precision and form. This is pure Wing Chun philosophy, like Ip Man style.
Meaning?
Minimal wasted motion, maximum efficiency. In the kitchen, that translates to really detailed slicing, exact scoring of ingredients.
Scoring, like cutting the skin.
Yeah, precisely. And maybe most critically, uncompromising temperature control. This, the guide argues, is what separates, a master from just a student.
Making jam versus crafting a preserve that expresses something true about the ingredient.
You got it. That's the idea.
But doesn't that kind of precision risk being too rigid? What if your cranberries are different or your stove is weird?
Ah, well, that leads directly into pillar 2, adaptation and flow. This is the Jeet Kune Do principle, Bruce Lee's philosophy.
Be like water.
Exactly. You can't be so locked into one technique that you break when something unexpected happens. You have to adapt.
So this is how they justify using a North American fruit like cranberry within, say, traditional Chinese methods. It's adaptation.
Absolutely. It's the way of no way, as Lee called it. Use whatever technique is most effective for the situation. It's about utility, not rigid orthodoxy. Maybe a quick pickle, like in a car, for immediate impact, but still respecting the cranberry's structure.
Okay, that makes sense. Precision, then flow. What's pillar 3?
Pillar 3 requires the most patience. Spiritual depth.
Ah, the Shaolin monk part.
Right. This is where time itself becomes an ingredient. Think the fermentation, aging, really intense flavor concentration.
Things that take weeks, maybe months.
Exactly. These slow processes transform simple sugars and acids into profound complexity. It mirrors that demanding path to enlightenment you see in, like, Shaolin training narratives. Discipline over time yields depth.
Okay, let's move into the recipes themselves, starting with ones that embody that immediate impact, that efficiency. The Way of the Dragon section. Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Ip Man influences.
Right, these are about precision, efficiency, and really concentrated flavor impact. Let's start with number one.
Okay, Cranberry 5 Spice a Car. Enter the Dragon. Sounds intense. 155 calories.
It channels Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do. Practical, efficient, pulls from diverse influences. The ingredient list itself is like an arsenal.
An arsenal. What's in it?
3 cups of cranberries, but they're specified as dragon scored. Then Chinese 5-spice, Sichuan peppercorns, black sesame, dried chilies, peanut oil, and crucially fermented black beans. A real flavor bomb.
Hold on, dragon scored. That sounds cinematic. What does that actually mean in the kitchen? What's the technique and why for an ACAR?
That's a great point. It's not just flair. Dragon scored in this context means making precise, shallow crosshatch cuts on the skin of each cranberry.
Like why?
Because an ACAR is essentially a quick pickle. You need immediate flavor penetration. Cranberries have fairly tough skins. If you don't score them, maximizing that surface area, the brine and the intense spice mixture just won't get in quickly enough.
Ah, so it's Jeet Kune Do in action. A
Yeah.
small, precise cut.
Yields maximum efficiency in flavor uptake, exactly. Minimal effort, maximal result.
That makes the next step, blooming the spices, seem even more critical then. The guide says heat peanut oil until it shimmers, then bloom the 5-spice and peppercorns. Why that specific visual cue, the shimmer? What's blooming doing?
The temperature is everything there. Shimmering indicates the oil is hot enough for rapid thermal extraction, but not smoking, which would burn the spices.
So not simmering, but blooming.
Right. Blooming forces the volatile oils and aromatic compounds, what the guide calls complex qi, out of the whole spices and into the fat instantly. It creates this incredibly aromatic foundation before you introduce the acidic cranberries.
And if the oil isn't hot enough?
The spice is just sort of steep. You don't get that explosive release of aroma. The final preserve would taste flat, muddy, two-dimensional. That blooming step creates the backbone.
Okay, I'm seeing the layers now. The technique serves the philosophy and the other ingredients. Fermented black beans.
That brings the umami depth, that low, savory, funky hum underneath the spice and tartness.
And shucks in wine.
That adds the spiritual lift, as the guide puts it. A touch of complexity, sweetness, and aroma that moves it beyond just heat and sour.
So the suggested pairings, Peking duck or aged white cheddar, makes sense now. The Acar's bright, intense acidity cuts right through the richness.
Demonstrating that fluid, adaptive nature. Perfect counterpoint.
Okay, next up, number 4. Cranberry tea-smoked duck fat confit, inspired by Ip Man, 275 calories. Sounds rich.
And this one is all about Wing Chun, the Foshan Master's method. Absolute precision, control, structure.
How does that translate here?
The cranberries are specified to remain centerline whole. They emphasize maintaining the structural integrity of the fruit. Minimal disruption.
The big technical challenge seems to be temperature again, but also that smoking step. It starts with cold smoking the duck fat with Chinese black tea. That sounds complicated. Why?
It is an extra layer of discipline, for sure.
Yeah.
Cold smoking means infusing the fat with smoke aroma without actually heating or rendering it.
Okay, but why tea, Chinese black tea?
The tea adds this really sophisticated aromatic layer. Think complex, tannic, slightly earthy notes. It elevates the richness of the duck fat itself, providing a counterpoint to the cranberry's tartness later on. It's like building a foundation.
A foundational discipline, as you said.
Right. And then comes the most critical instruction. Heating that tea-infused fat to precisely 155 degrees Fahrenheit.
Exactly, 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Why is that the magic number? Why not 150 or 160? What happens if you miss it?
This is where the Wing Chun precision really comes in. 155 degrees AirFi is the absolute sweet spot for confitting cranberries in fat.
How so?
If you go higher, say 160 degrees ever or more, the heat starts to rupture the cell walls of the cranberries too quickly. They release too much pectin, break down, and you end up with something mushy, almost jam-like, that's inefficient, uncontrolled.
And lower, say 150 degrees Fahrenheit.
Too low, and you risk insufficient preservation. The heat isn't enough to gently cook the fruit and ensure shelf stability. 155 degrees AirFi is the perfect balance. It gently softens the fruit, allows the fat and flavors to penetrate slowly, but preserves the cranberry structure and essential tartness.
Minimal effective dose of heat for the desired outcome.
Exactly. Wing Chun applied to thermodynamics. It separates the masters from the students, as the guide says.
But that precision comes with a nutritional price, doesn't it? This is listed as one of the highest fat preserves. 275 calories, 26 grams of total fat. That's 33% of the daily value.
Yeah, awareness is definitely key here. It is rich, but it's important to look at the type of fat. About 14 grams of that is monounsaturated fat, which is characteristic of duck fat. That's generally considered a healthier fat, better for cardiovascular health than, say, loads of saturated fat, often found in butter-rich preserves.
Still, 26 grams is a lot. And what about sodium?
That's the other flag. 780 milligrams, which is 34 pristine DV.
Ugh.
High. This comes from the salt used in the confit process itself, essential for preservation and drawing out moisture, but it adds up.
So a trade-off, amazing texture and flavor, but high fat and sodium.
Right. Though the guy does mention the tea polyphenols as a small positive counterpoint, providing some antioxidant activity. It's designed to be used judiciously, maybe with roast duck or on steamed buns, where that richness is the point.
All right, let's wrap up this Way of the Dragon section with number 19. Cranberry Black Vinegar Reduction. Inspired by Fist of Legend, the Jet Li remake, only 95 calories.
Yeah, this one embodies the Chen Zhen Vengeance theme, intense, focused flavor concentration. It's about achieving maximum impact with minimum volume.
Okay, the arsenal here.
Relatively simple but potent. Cranberry juice, Chinese black vinegar, usually Qingkang brown sugar, a bit of Shaoxing wine, and dark soy sauce.
And the technique is called Jinglu determination.
Right. It basically means you reduce this mixture relentlessly over low heat until it becomes incredibly thick and concentrated. The guide says thick is determination.
That Chinese black vinegar is pretty intense stuff on its own. Aged, complex, sharp. How do they keep the cranberry's tartness from just clashing horribly with that strong acetic bite during reduction? Doesn't it just become overpoweringly sour?
That's where the mechanism of reduction itself creates harmony. As the water evaporates, everything concentrates the sugars from the juice and brown sugar, the umami from the soy sauce, the complexity from the Shaoxing wine.
Ah, so the sweetness and savoriness concentrate alongside the acids.
Exactly. They bind, they mellow each other slightly, they create a much more complex structure. The dark soy and Shaoxing provide this malty, savory foundation that actually supports the aged character of the black vinegar rather than fighting it. The final flavor peaks with umami and aged complexity, not just a flat sour note.
Intense, but balanced.
That's the goal. And what's really striking here is the efficiency. 95 calories, 0 fat. It's pure concentrated flavor.
And nutritionally, what are the benefits besides low calorie?
Primarily from the vinegar and soy. You get acetic acid from the black vinegar, which is known to aid digestion and potentially help moderate blood sugar. And you get complex amino acids from both the aged vinegar and the soy sauce, which contribute to that deep umami taste profile.
Sodium level.
Moderate here, 285 milligrams,
Yeah.
about 12% DV. Not too bad for something using soy sauce and vinegar.
And serving suggestion, drizzle over steamed fish or finished stir-fried noodles. Makes sense. A little goes a long way.
Pure intensity, focused application. Hashtag tag 3. The ethereal and philosophical blends. Crouching Tiger, Hero, Shaolin.
Okay, shifting gears now. We're moving away from that immediate impact and intensity.
And into the recipes that emphasize grace, poetry, maybe spiritual advancement. The more ethereal, layered flavors. Think wire fu.
Right. Complexity that sort of defies expectation. Let's start with number 3.
This is framed as the Green Destiny collection, using the Flying Daggers technique. It's meant to be graceful, light, almost transcendent. 135 calories.
And the ingredients reflect that. Lychee, rose wine, osmanthus flowers. Very delicate.
Exactly. The mechanism here is all about achieving that sense of effortlessness. The cranberries aren't mashed, they're just sword-like crushed.
Sword-like crushed, meaning
Just enough pressure to break the skin and release some juice but not destroy the structure. Gentle. The cooking itself is very light, using rose wine and osmanthus flowers.
rose wine, not Shaoxing. Interesting.
Yeah, it has a much subtler floral note. And osmanthus, these tiny, incredibly fragrant flowers common in Chinese desserts, they bring this ethereal, almost apricot-like aroma. It's about layering delicate scents.
That balance must be incredibly fine, though. Cook it too long, the lychee turns to mush and loses its distinct flavor. Too short, and the flavors don't meld.
Precisely. It's a razor-thin balance. The guide emphasizes dissolving the rock sugar completely. That's not just about sweetness, it's about achieving this perfectly smooth, integrated texture where nothing jars. Like masters, moving with effortless grace.
Nutritionally, what's the story here? Lots of fruit.
Big hit of vitamin C, 48 milligrams, which is 53% of your daily value. Plus, lychee provides oligonol, a specific polyphenol that's linked to supporting circulation.
Any flags?
Sugar content is quite high, around 30 grams per serving. It's definitely a dessert application. The guide suggests serving it over silk tofu for visual poetry or using it as a mooncake filling. Beauty and grace.
All right, number 7. Cranberry Shaoxing Dulce. 36 Chamber of Shaolin. Sounds like it requires some serious dedication. 195 calories.
This is the temple discipline, the 36 chambers method. It's all about systematic progression, patience, transformation. You can't rush this one.
Okay, so what's the mechanism? How does that translate into cooking?
It's presented as a step-by-step transformation. First, the cranberry juice is monk-reduced,
Monk reduced.
meaning slowly, patiently concentrated over low heat. Requires focus.
Mm.
Then, rock sugar is added and carefully brought close to caramelization. That's the controlled intensity phase.
But not full caramel.
No, just approaching it, developing those deeper notes.
Yeah.
And then the aged Shaoxing wine is introduced. And this isn't just any Shaoxing. The guide implies using a well-aged one.
For that spiritual depth.
Exactly. Aged Shaoxing wine brings incredible complexity, nutty, savory, slightly saline notes that go way beyond simple sweetness. It's the reward for patience.
But this depth, it comes at a cost nutritionally, right? The outline mentions high saturated fat.
It does.
Yeah.
To achieve that rich, almost caramel-like texture, they'll say, the recipe incorporates heavy cream and butter late in the process. This results in 5 grams of saturated fat per serving, which is 25% of the daily value.
So that richness is necessary to support the weight and complexity of the aged wine and concentrated fruit.
That seems to be the rationale. It's a trade-off for achieving that specific decadent texture and profound flavor profile. The guide notes the presence of amino acids from the aged wine, contributing to complexity.
Again, serving.
It's meant to be honored, used sparingly, drizzled over something simple like almond tofu or steamed pears, allowing the dulse itself to be the star, showcasing that disciplined depth.
Ooh, number 9. Cranberry goji berry leather. Inspired by Hero. Only 85 calories. I like the sound of this one, creating art from nutrition.
Yes, the nameless warrior's gift, using the calligraphy technique. It's about precision, concentration, and extracting nutritional essence.
Fruit leather is basically dehydrated puree, right? So the mechanism is concentration.
Primarily, yes. Dehydration concentrates flavor, sugar, and nutrients. But the technique here is more complex because cranberries and goji berries are quite different.
How so?
Different water content, different sugar levels, different textures when pureed. Goji berries can be slightly mealy. The guide insists you puree and reduce them separately first,
Why separately?
to achieve the perfect smooth consistency for each before combining them. This ensures neither flavor dominates and that the final texture is uniform, like a perfect brushstroke in calligraphy. It requires precision.
The outline also mentions something about reducing tartness using a sacrifice concentrated juice concept. How does that work? Is that relevant here?
It could be. That technique usually involves clarifying the initial juice, maybe filtering out some pulp and pectin, which hold a lot of the sharp acid, or diluting the puree slightly before a long, slow reduction. The idea is you sacrifice some volume or sharp notes to achieve a deeper, more rounded, concentrated flavor essence. Less personal desire, sharp tartness, more universal benefit, concentrated goodness.
So extra steps for refinement. Makes sense for the hero theme. And the nutritional payoff is huge, right? The eye health champion?
Absolutely undisputed. Goji berries are superstars in traditional Chinese medicine, specifically for vision. Dehydrating them with cranberries concentrates everything.
So what are the numbers?
Highest vitamin C in the collection. 68 milligrams, a whopping 76% of your daily value. And critically, it's listed as very high in both zeaxanthin and beta-carotene.
Which are crucial for
Eye health. There are carotenoids that accumulate in the retina and macula, protecting against light damage and age-related degeneration. Essential for a warrior needing sharp vision or, anyone staring at a screen.
serving suggestions, rolling into scrolls, or cutting into shapes.
Very thematic, honoring the calligraphy and warrior themes. It's functional art.
Okay, another one from Hero, number 21. Cranberry osmanthus honey syrup, 145 calories. This one's theme is all under heaven.
Right, the nameless sacrifice philosophy. Individual excellence supporting collective harmony. Here, the cranberry supports the delicate honey.
How does that work mechanically?
The cranberry juice is reduced until it's concentrated and pure enough in flavor to act the base that supports rather than overwhelms the delicate floral character of osmanthus-infused honey.
So the cranberry becomes the stage for the honey.
Precisely. Too much tartness or extraneous flavor and the osmanthus notes would be lost. The guide also mentions adding a touch of Shaoxing wine for that spiritual dimension and whole osmanthus flowers for visual, poetic beauty. It's about balance and letting the star ingredient shine.
Nutritionally, honey means sugar, right?
Yes, high sugar content here, 34 grams per serving. But it also contains natural enzymes from the honey and whatever beneficial compounds are extracted from the osmanthus flowers.
Serving. Drizzled over almond cake or in tea service?
Yeah, highlighting that principle of supporting the whole rather than seeking individual glory. Harmony. Hashtag check for fear. The darker arts and unexpected blends. Revenge, comedy, brutality.
All right, let's venture into the darker arts. This section covers revenge, comedy, brutality. Sounds like some intense flavors.
Yeah, these recipes often use unique fermented ingredients, intense numbing heat, or really powerful textural contrasts. Unexpected, sometimes challenging combinations.
Okay, number 5, cranberry black sesame conserve. Kill Bill Volume 1, the Hanzo Steel Collection. 185 calories, dark and powerful.
Definitely. The cranberries are katana-quartered, sharp, precise cuts. But the real key mechanism here is the black sesame seeds.
What about them?
They must be toasted. The guide is very specific. Toast them until the nutty aromatics are fully released, the moment the katana steel is singing.
Why is that moment so critical?
Timing is everything. Under-toast them, and the flavor is flat, raw, disappointing. Over-toast them, even slightly, and they become bitter, acrid. That precise moment of aromatic release is like the perfect honing of a blade. It requires focus.
Patient planning, like the bride's revenge.
Exactly. And the recipe uses palm sugar, which melts slowly, reinforcing that theme of patience. Deadly precision in adding ingredients is emphasized.
Nutritionally, this one stands out too, right? The calcium champion?
Absolutely. Black sesame seeds are incredibly rich in calcium. This conserve delivers 88 milligrams per serving, about 9% of your daily value. That's unusually high for a preserve.
Anything else?
It's also high in fat, around 17 grams, 22% DV, mostly from the sesame seeds themselves, which is generally healthy fat, and it contains sesamin, a lignin found in sesame with noted antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties.
Serving suggestions. Seared tuna or dark chocolate. Japanese precision meets American boldness.
Yeah, it's about that intense, dark pairing where technique meets powerful flavor.
Okay, number 8. Cranberry kimchi ferment. The Raid. That movie is intense. Penkak's Saylat Arsenal, relentless assault method. 125 calories. I'm bracing myself.
Yeah, this is about uncompromising heat, complexity, and funk derived from fermentation. The cranberries are brutally halved, efficiency of Saylat, no finesse needed.
Been mixed with.
A serious dose of heat. Sambolilic, possibly bird's eye chilies. It's meant to be fiery. But the core mechanism is the fermentation.
Right. Kimchi means fermented. What's the guideline here?
The critical guideline is the fermentation time and condition. 6 to 8 days, specifically in tropical conditions. Warm and humid. Those conditions favor the rapid growth of specific lactobacillus bacteria, the kind that produce the characteristic tangy, funky, complex flavors of kimchi. The time allows these layers of flavor, the funk and the fire, to develop fully. It's a chemical transformation, a controlled decomposition creating complexity.
Okay, let's pause here. The outline mentioned a sodium warning for this one. How bad is it?
It's significant. This is the highest sodium item in the entire collection. We're talking 1,580 milligrams per quarter cup serving.
Whoa, 1580.
That's 69% of the recommended daily value in one small serving.
69%. Why on earth is it so high? Is it just the sample?
It's fundamental to the kimchi process itself, especially as described here. Traditional kimchi fermentation relies on a high salt concentration. Salt draws out water, prevents boilage from harmful bacteria, and creates the perfect environment for the desirable lactic acid bacteria to thrive. Given the tropical conditions specified, a high salt level is likely deemed essential for safety and proper fermentation.
So it's a necessary evil for the authentic flavor and preservation.
Apparently so, according to this guide's method. It's an unavoidable trade-off for achieving that intense, funky, fermented character.
But there are benefits too, right? Probiotics.
Huge benefits there. This is the probiotics champion of the collection, listed as very high. Plus, you get capsaicin from the chilies, responsible for the heat and some metabolic benefits, and a good amount of vitamin C, 35 milligrams, 39% DV.
So warrior fuel indeed. Intense, potentially overwhelming, but packed with probiotics and heat. Used with extreme caution regarding sodium.
Definitely. Maybe paired with Indonesian satay or eaten straight if you're really hardcore.
Number 14, Cranberry Sichuan Peppercorn Jam. Legend of the Drunken Master. The Drunken Immortal's Elixir. 175 calories. This sounds interesting, numbing, and intoxicating.
Yeah, this one focuses on the unique ma la sensation.
Ma la, that's the Sichuan peppercorn thing, right? Numbing and spicy.
Exactly. Ma is the numbing, la is the spicy heat, though this recipe focuses more on the ma. The key mechanism is the controlled application of ground Sichuan peppercorns.
How does that work? What's the compound?
The numbing sensation comes primarily from a compound called hydroxy-alpha-sansol. It interacts with nerve receptors on your lips and tongue, creating this tingling, buzzing, almost vibratory sensation. It's not actually hot, it's electric.
And achieving that alongside cranberry tartness.
It's about balance. Yeah. Too much peppercorn, and the numbing is overwhelming, almost metallic. Too little, and you barely notice it. The technique lies in finding that sweet spot where the tingle complements the tartness and sweetness.
Like the controlled chaos of drunken boxing.
Precisely. And they add fermented black beans for umami depth and rice wine for a bit of lift, making it more complex than just tart and numb.
Nutritionally, any flags?
Very high in carbohydrates and sugars. 44 grams of carbs, with 40 grams of that being sugar. That sugar base is likely needed to carry the Szechuan flavor and balance the tartness and numbing sensation.
And the benefit is mainly that unique sandalwood compound.
Yeah, that's the star. Serving it on Peking duck pancakes makes sense.
Yeah.
The fat, the sweet, the tart, and the numb all playing together. Or with aged cheeses for a fusion kick.
Okay, number 17. Cranberry yellow bean mostarda. Shell and soccer. The golden leg arsenal. Mole Tao method. This sounds weird. Cranberry and yellow bean paste. 165 calories.
Mole Tao is Stephen Chow's signature style of comedy, absurd, nonsensical on the surface, but often masking brilliant technique or profound insights. This recipe aims for that.
Cranberry and savory, salty, fermented yellow bean sauce. How does that even work?
It's about contrast and unexpected harmony. The mechanism uses precise randomness. The cranberries are soccer ball quartered, chunky, providing bursts of tartness. The yellow bean sauce brings this deep, complex, savory, umami baseline.
Like a sweet and savory chutney, but with beans.
Sort of, but maybe more intense. It's related to Italian mostarda, which uses mustard fruit, but this uses the fermented bean paste for its pungent depth. The fermentation creates complexity that surprises you.
Another high-sodium one, yellow bean paste, is salty.
Yep, second highest after the kimchi, 1,180 milligrams, which is 51% DV. Again, inherent to the core fermented ingredient.
Any positives nutritionally?
It does offer about 5 grams of protein, likely from the beans, and various beneficial compounds from the fermentation process.
Serving. Roast duck again, or aged cheddar. Proving comedy and serious technique can coexist.
That's the idea. Don't judge the absurd pairing until you taste the technique behind it. #TagV. The flowing and technical recipes. Jackie Chan, Kurosawa, The Matrix.
Okay, let's move into recipes showcasing fluid technique, precise timing, innovative textures, the advanced choreography section, Jackie Chan, Kurosawa, even The Matrix.
First up, number 6, cranberry silken tofu curd. Another Drunken Master reference, but this time focusing on the old Toro curd. 8 Drunken Immortal style fluid, unpredictable, but with perfect internal logic. 175 calories.
The challenge here sounds like texture. Silken tofu can be tricky.
Absolutely. The mechanism is all about achieving true fluidity and smoothness. The guide insists you must whisk the silken tofu until it's completely smooth, like effortless movement.
How do you do that without it breaking or getting watery?
Patience and persistence. It often requires pushing it through a fine mesh sieve after initial blending. Then, incorporating the egg yolks requires gentle, steady whisking. If you rush it or overheat it, you get grainy scrambled tofu.
But done right, it's almost liquid.
Or a very delicate floating curd. The cranberry element involves concentrating the juice while keeping it bright, perhaps swirling it in at the end.
Nutritionally, this one sounds promising. Tofu and eggs.
Yeah, this is the highest protein item identified in the collection, clocking in at 7 grams per serving. The silken tofu provides high-quality, complete protein and beneficial isoflavones. It's smooth, efficient, nutrient-dense fuel.
Serving, pastry cups or with almond cookies. Delicate applications.
Right, showcasing that fluid texture.
Number 11, cranberry water chestnut paste. Police story. Hong Kong Action Arsenal, Department SP method. Precise, death-defying timing. 145 calories.
This one is about textural contrast and precise execution, like Jackie Chan's stunt choreography.
Oh, water chestnuts mean crunch, right?
Exactly. The mechanism involves dicing the cranberries with extreme precision, matching the fine dice of the water chestnuts. The key is that the water chestnuts provide a crunch that survives the cooking process.
How do they ensure that, and what holds it together?
It uses oyster sauce for umami depth and complexity, and likely a cornstarch slurry for binding. The death-defying timing refers to adding the cornstarch at the exact right moment and temperature to thicken the paste perfectly without it becoming gluey or the water chestnuts losing their snap. It requires focus.
Nutritionally, anything stand out?
Decent source of potassium, 285 milligrams, 8% DV,
Yeah.
and manganese, 0.2 milligrams, 9% DV, likely from the cranberries and water chestnuts.
Serving. Dim sum filling or spread on rice crackers.
Yeah, showing that even action comedy requires serious culinary technique to get the textures just right.
Number 12. Cranberry plum wine gastrique. Sanjuro, Kurosawa. The Ronin's Reflection, Way of the Sword. Sounds contemplative. 115 calories.
This is about achieving profound results from seemingly simple elements reflecting the lone warrior's path. A gastrique is a classic sweet and sour sauce.
So the mechanism is reduction in balance.
Precisely. You reduce the cranberry juice until it's concentrated. That's the wisdom gained through experience. Then, rice vinegar provides the sharp edge, like a katana.
And the plum wine.
Adds the sweetness and complexity. The key is balancing the sweet, plum wine sugar, and the sour, cranberry vinegar with samurai precision. It should be sharp, but harmonious.
Nutritional notes.
High in antioxidants from the concentrated cranberry and potentially the plum wine. Natural enzymes might be present if the vinegar is unpasteurized. Sugar content is significant, around 26 grams, typical for a gastrique.
Serving. Drizzle over grilled mackerel or finished soba noodles. Classic Japanese pairings.
Reflecting that contemplative, balanced result.
Okay, number 13. Cranberry agar gel. The matrix, the red pill formula, the chosen one process. This sounds like molecular gastronomy territory. 95 calories.
It definitely leans that way. It's about using a specific hydrocolloid agar to create a mind-bending texture.
Agar sets differently than gelatin or pectin.
Right.
Like more brittle.
Exactly. It creates a firm, almost snappy gel that breaks cleanly. It has a unique mouthfeel. But the critical guideline here is achieving perfectly clear cranberry juice first.
Reality clarified juice, as the guide calls it. Why is clarity so important for agar?
Because agar forms its gel structure through complex interactions at a molecular level. Any suspended solids, pulp, or even excessive pectin from the cranberries can interfere with that process, resulting in a cloudy, weak, or uneven gel. You need pristine clarity for agar to perform its magic trick.
So getting that clear juice is the hard part. How would you even do that? Serious straining, fining agents.
It likely involves multiple steps. Maybe initial juice extraction, avoiding too much pulp, followed by meticulous straining through cheesecloth or even coffee filters. Possibly even techniques like using clarifying agents like bentonite clay or gelatin fining, then straining again. And definitely avoiding high heat during extraction, which releases more pectin. It's technical.
Neo-learning the code, indeed. Not for beginners.
No. And the heating process with the agar itself must be gentle and precise to activate it correctly without causing thermal shock or degradation.
Nutritionally. Low calorie. Anything else?
Agar itself is mostly indigestible fiber, good for digestion. It contains trace amounts of iodine. The main point is the otherworldly texture.
Serving. Palate cleanser, like a glitch in the matrix. Or individual portions demonstrating perception.
Exactly. It's about experiencing texture as a distinct element, questioning your perception of what a fruit preparation can be. Hashtag tag Sensic. Advanced preservation and grandmaster techniques. All right, we're reaching the final stages. These are the recipes involving lengthy preservation, serious aging, or completing major cinematic arcs, the grandmaster techniques.
Number 16. Cranberry blood orange marmalade. Kill Bill Volume 2. The final chapter arsenal, 5-point palm exploding heart method, intense, bittersweet resolution, 145 calories.
It sounds epic. Marmalade is already technical.
The mechanism highlights Pei precision in julienning the blood orange peel. But the critical guideline seems to be blanching the peel multiple times. Why is that so crucial?
Blanching the citrus peel, especially the pith, the white part, is absolutely essential in traditional marmalade making. And doing it multiple times is key for blood oranges.
Why? What does it do?
It removes the excessive bitterness from the pith. If you don't do it, or don't do it enough, the final marmalade will have a harsh, unpleasant, bitter aftertaste that overwhelms everything else. Repeated blanching, changing the water each time, leaches out those bitter compounds while helping to soften the peel and, crucially, maintain that vibrant, deep red color of the blood orange.
So it's removing the undesirable without compromising the structure or the vital color. Pei precision.
Exactly. And then, to complete that final chapter arc, it incorporates tequila for a touch of Mexican heat and agave nectar for a complex, less refined sweetness than white sugar. It mirrors the cross-cultural intensity of the film's climax.
Nutritionally, citrus peel and cranberry.
Very high in vitamin C, as expected, 58 milligrams, 64% EV. Also high in anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for the deep red color of both blood oranges and cranberries, which are potent antioxidants. And limon, a compound concentrated in citrus peel known for its own antioxidant activity and potential health benefits.
Serving sourdough toast or glazing pork tenderloin.
Yeah, showing how these potentially deadly techniques can create something nurturing and complex. Bittersweet resolution.
Number 20, cranberry longan shrub. Drunken Master 2. The Industrial Revolution Arsenal, Wang Fei Hung Evolution. This one sounds more mature, serious themes. Only 85 calories. What's a shrub?
A shrub is basically a drinking vinegar. It's an old preservation method where fruit is macerated with sugar and vinegar, creating a tart, sweet syrup that you mix with water or spirits.
Okay, so the mechanism involves controlled chaos.
Right. The cranberries are muddled, but with controlled chaos. Then combined with longan syrup, longan being a fruit used in traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, and vinegar. The critical guideline is the fermentation maceration time, 72 hours.
Why is 72 hours? What's happening?
Over those 3 days, the sugar draws juice from the fruit, the vinegar starts to preserve and infuse, and importantly, some mild fermentation can occur, developing beneficial bacteria and adding complexity. It's not a full kimchi-style ferment, but enough to create that tangy probiotic character of a drinking vinegar. It represents adaptation, like Wang Fei Hung dealing with industrialization.
Nutritionally, low calorie, as you said.
Yep, 85 calories. It highlights gallic acid, an antioxidant found in cranberries and longans, and the presence of probiotics from the process. Also still offers a good hit of vitamin C, 38 milligrams, 42% DV.
Serving. Mixed with sparkling water for a healthy drink or in cocktails.
Honoring Jackie Chan's evolution into a more complete artist, blending action with serious themes, and reflecting the TCM roots with longan.
Okay, number 22. Cranberry aged soy sauce vinegar. Ip Man 2. The Hong Kong Legacy Grandmaster Method. Refined, complex, lengthy aging. This sounds intense. Only 55 calories.
This is presented as the pinnacle of patience and complex technique, mirroring Ip Man preserving Wing Chun traditions while adapting to a new society. It's a multi-stage process.
How does it start?
The mechanism begins with actual alcoholic fermentation of the cranberries, using traditional Chinese winemaking techniques. This implies specific yeast strains and careful control.
So first you make cranberry wine.
Essentially, yes. Then that wine undergoes a secondary acetic fermentation to become vinegar. But here's the twist. Aged soy sauce is introduced during this phase.
Adding umami during the vinegar making.
Exactly. It provides this incredible savory depth. But the ultimate mark of the Grandmaster method is the aging time.
How long are we talking?
The critical guideline specifies 16 to 20 weeks, minimum.
4 to 5 months of aging after the fermentation. Wow.
Yeah, this extended aging allows incredibly complex flavors to develop through slow esterification and oxidation. Flavors you simply cannot achieve quickly. It takes a lifetime to master, the guide suggests.
And nutritionally, this is the lowest calorie item.
At just 55 calories, yes. Its value is in its complexity. It boasts around 5% acetic acid, standard for vinegar, high levels of umami compounds from the soy and aging, active probiotics developed during the long process, and various amino acids.
Serving. Vinaigrettes. Finishing dim sum.
Sparingly. It's a finishing touch, a testament to patience and refined tradition.
And finally, number 23, cranberry vanilla bean syrup. Back to Crouching Tiger, but this time, Wudang Mountain Meditation Green Destiny Legacy. Transcendent Eternal Love. 165 calories.
This one aims for pure ethereal beauty and depth. The mechanism starts with reducing the cranberry juice until it's concentrated, like love too profound for words.
And vanilla.
It requires scraping a real vanilla bean with precision, but also keeping the scraped pod for infusion. This symbolizes love continuing to influence lives even after separation, the pod lending subtle aroma over time.
Texture-wise, it mentions cream and butter.
Yes, similar to the dulce, cream and butter are added at the end to create a luxurious texture that seems to float. It contributes to the calorie count and sugar content, around 30 Deb.
Any key nutritional compounds besides sugar?
Vanillin, the main flavor compound from vanilla, is noted. Small amount of calcium, 2% DV, from the dairy.
Serving. Over mooncakes or in a tea ceremony.
Honoring themes of eternal love and the highest martial art being about letting go while holding on. A poetic end to the collection.
Okay, we've explored the philosophy, the techniques, the cinematic ties for a huge chunk of these 23 preserves. Now let's synthesize that nutritional data we touched upon. You mentioned this collection is structured around traditional Chinese medicine principles.
That's a recurring theme in the guide, yes. Many ingredient choices and combinations seem geared towards concepts like balance, longevity, recovery, common themes in TCM. This section is where the ingredients' fighting styles are revealed scientifically. ###HeyA. performance and recovery stats.
So how does this collection stack up for, say, someone physically active, like a martial artist? Let's talk performance and recovery. Anti-inflammatory properties.
Definitely a focus. The guide highlights the anti-inflammatory masters. Cranberries themselves are packed with anthocyanins and other flavonoids known to combat inflammation. When these are combined with other ingredients like ginger, used in the ACAR, though we didn't detail that recipe, or the polyphenols from tea in the tea-smoked confit, the potential for aiding muscle recovery and reducing soreness seems significant.
Makes sense. What about cardiovascular health? Endurance, circulation, cardiovascular kung fu.
Yeah, several elements support this. We saw the emphasis on monounsaturated fats in the duck fat confit, which are heart-healthy compared to saturated fats. Then you have the high antioxidant load in recipes like the plum wine gastrique or the goji berry leather, which combat oxidative stress and support healthy blood vessel function. Good circulation is key for stamina. Internal chi, you could say.
And mental focus. Discipline requires concentration.
Right. The guide points to ingredients traditionally used for mental clarity in TCM. For instance, the complex amino acids developed during the long aging process of the Shaxing Dulce, or the aged soy sauce vinegar, are thought to support neurotransmitter function, potentially aiding the focus needed for intense practice or meditation. #B. High-impact nutritional highlights. Specific examples.
Okay, let's recap some of the nutritional champions we found. Antioxidant warriors.
Cranberry is already an antioxidant powerhouse, but combining it with Asian superfoods really boosts things. We confirmed the goji berry leather is top tier for vitamin C, 76% DV, but the lychee compote, 53% DV, and the blood orange marmalade, 64% DV, also deliver very high amounts, showing the synergy at play.
And for digestive harmony, the probiotics. Fermentation length was key, right?
Absolutely critical, and the guide is specific. The kimchi ferment leads the pack. Very high probiotics explicitly linked to that 6 to 8 day tropical fermentation, which encourages robust lactobacillus growth. Compared to, say, the long and shrub, which requires 72 hours and likely results in a different, maybe less diverse profile of beneficial bacteria rated as present, or the aged soy sauce vinegar, also present, developed over months. The intensity and type of probiotic benefit varies drastically with the method and time.
Got it. Then there were those specialized compounds linked to specific recipes.
Right, reflecting the unique ingredients.
Yeah.
High isoflavones in the silken tofu curd, plant compounds with various health links.
Sesame.
In the black sesame conserve, linked directly to its status as the calcium champion, 88 milligram. Sesame itself has studied benefits.
And the eye health stars.
Zeaxanthin and beta-carotene, highest concentration by far in the goji berry leather, directly supporting retinal and macular health. Unbeatable for vision support within this collection. #C caloric fat and sodium extremes for awareness.
Finally, mastery requires awareness. Let's quickly recap the extremes so people know what they're getting into. The high-fat outliers.
Primarily two stood out. The tea-smoked duck fat confit, 275 cal, 26 G fat, 14 G mono. And another recipe we didn't detail, the cranberry lotus root compound butter, around 20 gram fat, high saturated. These are flavor bombs, clearly prioritizing richness and texture, meant for careful use.
And the sodium bombs. Need to be mindful here.
Definitely. The cranberry kimchi ferment is the absolute highest at 1,580 milligrams, 69% DV, used with extreme caution. The cranberry yellow bean astarta is also very high, at 1,180 milligrams, 51% EV. Both are consequences of the traditional fermented ingredients used. You must account for this in your overall meal.
But there's efficiency too, the low-calorie champions.
The aged soy sauce vinegar wins at just 55 calories, and the goji berry leather and long and shrub thai for second lowest among those we detailed at 85 calories. These show techniques focused on concentrated flavor or medicinal benefits without a heavy caloric load.
So a style for every need, but you need to know the trade-off.
Precisely. The collection offers a martial art for every dietary approach, but awareness is part of the discipline. #outro.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. That was a true deep dive into the Cranberry Martial Arts Cinema Preserve Collection Third. We've explored the philosophies, Wing Chun, Jeet Kune Do, Shaolin discipline.
We've dissected the actual mechanics, the scoring, the blooming, the critical temperature controls, the aging processes.
And we've synthesized the nutritional science, the benefits, the risks, the champions, the outliers.
Yeah, the whole picture.
And the ultimate lesson seems pretty clear. Mastery in the kitchen, just like in martial arts, really does come down to respecting the technique, understanding your ingredients deeply, and dedicated practice.
Absolutely. And don't forget the practical wisdom tucked away in the guide of proper storage. Refrigerated, These preserves maintain optimal quality for 12 to 18 months. That's traditional preservation knowledge. This whole collection really tries to be a bridge, connecting cinematic stories, culinary discipline, and nutritional science.
Lessons that go beyond just making preserves.
For sure.
So we have to leave you, the listener, with that final provocative thought the guide poses. If these 23 recipes are like different chambers of culinary Shaolin training, if the next dish you create is your training ground, which martial arts philosophy is going to define your approach?
Will it be that disciplined efficiency of Wing Chun?
Or the flowing adaptation of Jeet Kune Do?
Or maybe the graceful, artful poetry of Wire Fu?
Something to think about next time you're in the kitchen.